Hi, I'm Luke Bennett. This is my persuasive speech. Here is my audience. I'd like to first bring you to a visual to begin my speech. Have you ever seen these before, these kiosks, these tipping kiosks? As a consumer, we see these everywhere. We see them anywhere we go nowadays, and we get this awkward situation of an employee flipping you this kiosk. And as someone who's worked in that employee's shoe, it's awkward for us, the consumer, and also that employee. It's created this weird divide. And so I experienced this when I worked at this place called Fabulous Freddy's. I was making below minimum wage because I was expected to make up that money through tipping. People were expected to tip me. But there was many days that I experienced where I wasn't tipped whatsoever. I made $0, and so actually that day I made below minimum wage. And as an employee and as a consumer, this is really hard. And this created this sort of tip creep and tip fatigue in our society. And so a Bankrate survey done in 2024 shows that 3 out of 5 adults have a negative view on tipping. So today I'd like to explain why we have that negative view, why there's this negative and toxic and harmful culture that tipping has become in the US today. So I'd first like to start with explaining what tip creep is. Tip creep is defined by CBS News as when tipping spreads to more types of workers. And it also refers to an increase in tipping. And so you may have seen this in your day-to-day life, going from 15% to 30%, or 18% to 30% to some reports. You also see this everywhere. Self-check, The Guardian reports that tipping has spread to self-checkouts, drive-thrus, hot dog stands, drugstores, a bottled water stall at a jazz festival, an airport vending machine, a used bookstore, a cinema box office, a children's arcade. It's everywhere. We see it everywhere. And this has created this whole kind of awkward situation for us. It's created this thing called tipping fatigue. And so tip fatigue, as defined by Gratuity Solutions, is consumer patience with tipping is wearing thin. We don't want to be tipping as much anymore, which directly threatens the income of hospitality workers or those who need to be tipped. And so I'd like to show you this visual real quick to demonstrate this about our view on tipping. So 77% say tipping has become ridiculous. We all have this really strong and negative view on tipping. So continuing with Gratuity Solutions and a popular kiosk machine maker called Square, they say the decline in tips combined with uneven wage growth creates financial uncertainty for staff. This directly impacts their job satisfaction and career choices, with one 2025 report finding that 54% of restaurant and hospitality workers plan to leave their jobs within the next year, citing competitive pay as a top challenge. So in conclusion, what do we do with all this information that I'm giving you today? And there's a few things you can do starting today. As AARP puts in an article about battling tipping, you don't have to leave a tip at every establishment that asks for one. You should always tip at full service restaurants because servers generally aren't paid a livable wage. They also recommend tipping at hairstylists, nail salons, taxi drivers, and even housemaids in hotels. Don't tip the machine, don't tip the kiosk, tip the person itself. Give them the money in hand and give them their full amount. These funds aren't distributed evenly when they're given in the kiosk. And vote for legislation that requires states to pay employees full wages. This has already been done in states like California and Nevada and has made massive impacts on these employees because they're paid what they're expected to. And tipping percentages there are actually significantly lower because people aren't expected to tip as much. And so I know as you apply these 3 things in your life that you'll have this less complicated view with tipping, and that those people who require this money can get paid what they need to, and hopefully their employers will pay them that too.